Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining this workshop. My name is Emmanuel Heymann. I'm a sales manager at Similarweb. So for those of you who read the program of today, you could see that my colleague Owen was supposed to present. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, so I'm going to replace him. It's actually very unfortunate for you guys because Owen is a handsome gentleman from London with a proper British accent, and instead you're going to just be stuck with me for 45 minutes. And I do have a weird accent from the lovely neighboring country of Luxembourg. You still have people there. So the theme of the presentation didn't change, though, and today we're going to look at how benchmarking is key to the marketing success. So before I start the presentation, anyone in the room has heard about Similarweb before? Okay. And how many of you have used Similarweb before? Okay, so it's going to be very relevant. Just a little bit about the company. So in one sentence, we measure the digital world. So what does it mean is that you can take any website or any app that you want that exists out there, and we're going to tell you how much traffic, the engagement, the ranking of any website or any app. We're going to be able to tell you the traffic sources, the popular pages, even the retention. Now, what makes us very unique is that we're the only platform out there that offers data for more than 200 countries. So we have a very freemium approach. We have a website where you can get some insight for free and a pro version when you're going to get a lot of more features and a lot of more data. So a lot of people ask us how we do it. So again, what makes us very unique is that we have a unique way of collecting our data. We have 4 different sources. The first one is our international panel. We have the biggest panel in the web and mobile measurement industries. We track tens of millions of active users every month, and it's done completely anonymously. So we don't know anything about the users that we track except the geographic location and the clickstream data. Now, we also have a web crawler that crawls about 2.5 billion pages a month, ISP partnerships, and direct measurement. So what I mean by that is thousands of companies who gave us actually their Google Analytics, and for us, they're actually very important because we use them as a learning set. So then what we do, we collect all this data, we're going to integrate them, and then our big R&D team, which sits in Tel Aviv, is going to process the data in order for us to be able to present it with the ranking of the websites, the different traffic sources, the engagement. We also categorize websites, and we're even able to tell you which technologies they use. Now, about our company, it was founded in 2007. Today, we have about 150 employees in 3 main offices in Tel Aviv, London, New York, but we also have representation in Moscow, in Tokyo, Dubai, and Sao Paulo. We raised about $40 million investment, and we're also very honored to receive a few weeks ago the Red Herring Top 100 Technologies. Now, we're also very proud that in every vertical we have some of the top players using our data on a daily basis. So this is just a list of a few companies using our platform on a daily basis. You can see, for instance, in finance, Bain Capital or BCG, eBay, Staples, Google, and so on. So this is just a few names of our customers. But we also have a lot of newspapers using our data for stories or for actually explaining current events in the world. So for instance, I don't know if you remember, but in 2013, Prime Minister David Cameron in the UK wanted to ban all porn websites in the UK. So around the same time, The Guardian actually published an article using our data, and we found out that if you take 100% of the UK traffic on the internet, there's more traffic going to porn than all social networks together, including LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, which is quite amazing. Now, we compared it with other countries, and you see that Germany is actually much higher. So we all know that Germany is world champion in football, but not only, also in watching porn. Now, so this was in The Guardian, but then when the Germans realized they were really good at it, Die Welt actually wrote an article as well, warum wir Weltmeister in Porno gucken sind. why we're the world champion in watching porn, and they used our data in their article. Now, what would be more interesting would be to look at some market studies. So, if you look at the website Ozone, Ozone is one of the top traveling websites in Russia. Now, as you know, because of the geopolitical situations and economic challenges of Russia, this had a big impact on the travel industry in Russia. Oops. Sorry for that. We lost the... I touched a wrong button. Here we go. So this had a big impact on the travel industry in Russia. And if we look at this website, Ozone, you can see that from May 2014, they had about 2.6 million visits a month, and it dropped to 1.5 million 6 months later. So only in 6 months, they had a decrease of 43% in traffic because of the currency fluctuation and all the challenges of Russia. So actually, you would think that they're actually losing in terms of traffic. But if you look at the entire industry in Russia, you're going to see that they're actually the winning website in their industry. Their competitor never went bankrupt. Labyrinth bankrupt, Solvex bankrupt, and all the other ones actually faced a tougher job in traffic. So we could think at the first view that Ozone was actually losing, but actually we see that they're the winners. Now, the main purpose of the presentation is going to be now how you're going to be able to integrate competitive intelligence into your online marketing. So the Journey Institute, which is one of the largest management consulting firms, came up with a process which is very simple and effective to turn competitive intelligence data into a winning success strategy. So they have 7 different steps: planning and preparation, data collection, data analysis, reporting, learning from best practices, planning improvements, and institutional changes. Now, we're going to go over all these different points, but Similarweb, because we are collecting so much data about literally every industry online, Similarweb can be the data provider for implementing this process and get you to the path to success. So if we look at the first step, process and planning, so this is where you're going to define your goals with your team. But the key point here is that every KPI is measurable. So typically, let's say last year we did X, this year we need to do Y. Our competitor gets X more traffic than us, we have to bridge the gap by Y%. So typically a VP marketing will have the difficult task of bringing more qualified leads to his company. So he's going to ask his PR manager. To have more brand awareness. His SEO and PPC managers to boost their SEO and PPC traffic. Build a social community to generate more social traffic, and his performance team to actually improve the funnel of the website to be more performant. But the key point here again is that once you define measurable KPIs, you can make the most out of competitive intelligence data, and then you can make the most out of your team as well. So if you collect data, so here I took an example of few German websites in the book and literature industry in Germany. So I have Thalia.de, Bücher.de, Webbild.de, Buch.de, and Lookbook.de. Now, if we look at this data, so this is a graph of our main overview of our platform. You can see clearly that the website getting the most traffic, it's Bücher.de. But what is very interesting is that if you look at the engagement, the website that gets the most traffic in that industry has the worst engagement metrics. People stay the least time on their website, view the least pages, and their bounce rate is actually the highest. Similarly, what you can see on Similarweb is also the DNAs of the different websites. So how are they attracting traffic? What are their strategies? So here are 6 different ways of attracting the traffic: directly, mail, referrals, search, which is paid and organic, social or display advertisement. And it's very interesting to see that a website like Bücher.de is very dependent on search traffic. You take Buch.de, they would be more dependent on referral traffic, and Thalia.de more on display ads. Now, before you analyze now all this website in depth, you can also have a macro view of the industry. And this is what we're going to do. You can have an overall industry performance by country as well. You're going to be able to see seasonal trends of your industry. Who is who? You might be able to discover new players in your industry which you had no idea about. And you're going to be able to see who are the fast movers in your industry. So the companies that have boosted their search traffic, social, display, or direct. So let's take the book and literature industry. We have over 220 industries you can analyze on our platform. So now I took the book and literature, and we can see that if we do a comparison with last month, there was an increase in 3.7% of traffic for the total industry. Now we're looking we're looking at 91,000 websites. You have an idea of the total amount of traffic and also organic versus paid. So if you look at this industry, 98% of traffic come actually organically. So here you can also see who are the leaders. So for instance, here you have all the full list, 11,000 results of who are the leaders in that industry. But you can also do it by country. So now we're looking at Germany, industry, books, and literature. And we see that Thalia.de is number 1, Bücher, and so on. You can also see, by the way, if I click on the change column, you're going to be able to see all the websites I talked before about the fast movers. Who had the biggest jump in traffic from last month to this month? So here we have one website that had 7,000% increase in traffic from one month to the other one. And then we can try to explain why. What happened? Well, if you look at the referring websites to that industry, the #1 referring website is called outthinkgroup.com. And what they do, they actually help authors and they give resources to attract more traffic to their websites. And it even says here that they work with best-selling authors such as Hugh Highway, which we saw it was the website that had the biggest increase before. So this is how you're going to be able to analyze how different websites get the most traffic. Also search. If we look at search, you're going to be able to see the top keywords that drove traffic to that industry. So here you would see branded keywords. So Thalia has about almost 5% of the total traffic from their only keyword here of the entire industry. And if you sort it again by change, you will be able to see the trendy keywords as well. And social. Now, looking at the social flow at the macro level will allow you to understand the word of mouth. So, for instance, is Twitter driving traffic because people are just gloating about your brand, or actually personal Facebook recommendations from people is driving more traffic? And in this industry, we see clearly that Facebook sends the most traffic, and then you will see Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit. Now, #3 would be data analysis and reporting. So here the main goal would be to aim to find actionable insights. It's not enough to get just the data, you want to do something about it. So you can steal ideas from competitors. So for instance, you see that your competitor is bidding on certain paid keywords. Well, you should also bid on those keywords if it's driving a lot of traffic. You can find new opportunities. My competitor is getting a lot of traffic via affiliates. Well, I didn't know about those affiliates. Maybe I can also get traffic from those affiliates. You can identify low and high competition areas. So in every sector of online marketing, social, display, SEO, PPC, you can see where your competitors are doing well, what are their successes, and where you need to bridge the gap. But here, you don't let this be your last step. It's nice to get data, but now you also need to do something about it. And we're going to see some examples. So here I took the website Thalia.de for the analysis. We can have up to 2 years of data. Here it shows 1 year in Germany. And in all the features that we provide, which is the overview, the traffic sources, traffic destination, website content, you will be able to export all the data into Excel or PNG. What is interesting to look at would be the peaks. So here we look at the last 12 months on a weekly. Here something happened in December 2013, probably because of the high holidays. People bought a lot of books. You had a peak in traffic. If we look at the audience interest, so this is a very unique feature of Similarweb. And what you're going to be able to see here is a full list of websites, 7,000 domains here. And what are those domains? They're websites that actually people visited in the same browsing session then they went on Thalia.de. So for all of you doing online advertisement or retargeting efforts, this is an amazing list. This is a list where you should actually go and advertise on. Because if you know that there's 7,000 websites that your visitors, when also visited those websites, they're actually a great target. So this feature would be very amazing to understand the behavior of the users, but also for your retargeting efforts. You can see the performance of your website or your competitor's website over the years. So here again, we see this peak, which is also in search, direct traffic, referrals. You see that they had a big mail campaign as well, but then it went relatively down for the rest of the year. So you can really analyze, if also you're investing in some websites, you can analyze the performance of your client or their competitors over the year. And if we look at something even more closer of today, if we look at the last 28 days, so you can see actually that one website had a big peak on the 18th of May, and the other one had more traffic on the 30th of May. And here again, you see that if we compare Boucher and Thalia.de, Boucher gets more traffic, but the engagement is much lower. So the quality of the traffic is not the same. Now, if we look at referrals, so again on the website of Thalia.de, you have a full list of websites sending traffic organically to Thalia.de. So you see that 65% of their total referral traffic actually comes from Billiger.de. And you have another full list of websites. So if I'm a competitor, this is gold. I want to see how come all these websites sends traffic organically. And then what you can do is what I call the battlefield. Who gets the most traffic from the same affiliate or referrer? And this is amazing because you have here again this full list. And if I'm Thalia.de and I see that my competitor gets a lot of traffic from Hugendubel.de, maybe I haven't heard about them before. And I know they're sending a lot of traffic. Here, number 7 again, number 13 again. So this is where you find new opportunities and where you see where the traffic comes from with your competitors. Same with search. Here you have a SEO PPC team, and they want to analyze all the keywords driving to their websites versus all the keywords going to their competitors' websites. So we have organic and paid, and you can see the ratio for all the keywords if it came from organic channel or paid channel. And again, you can do it by change, and you're going to see the trendiest keywords. So for now, Buch bestseller, so the bestseller book, had an 800% increase in paid traffic since last month. And the same thing which we did with referral traffic, you're going to be able to do it for your SEO and PPC campaigns. So here, you can see all the organic versus paid traffic. You can filter by organic or paid, and you see again the battlefield on keywords. Social, same thing. So you can see actually which social networks are sending the most traffic to your website or your competitor's website. In this case, as we saw before, it was Facebook and YouTube. Now, if you go to the display advertising for all of you dealing with ad campaigns, we're able to tell you which ad network is sending the most traffic to a specific website. So here I see that Thalia.de is using a lot GDN, Criteo, and AppNexus, for instance. We're going to be able to see the full list of publishers, so where they put their advertisement on, and you have the full list here as well. And you're going to be even able to see the different banners, what banners customers saw and where they click. So you're going to be also able to see the landing pages. Outgoing links. So this is very interesting as well, because if I take a website like Thalia.de and I see number 4, number 4 is an ad exchange, youradexchange.com. So I know that Thalia.de doesn't have any spot for advertisement on their website, but I can still see that there was an ad injection, actually. So you can actually see that traffic was redirected outside. And also number 5, PayPal. So I know that I have an idea of how many people actually went to PayPal to actually purchase something. So if we look again now at their website, we see how the website is built, and you can actually dig into specific pages. So we have a popular pages feature which tells you at the page level what's going on. So you can actually see the funnel of the website, what specific categories people look at the most on the website, and we even have all the secure domains. So here, for instance, I see how many people bestellen, how many people went to the order category, to the Zahlungsart and the way of payment. And if there is a success page, you can actually have an idea of how, the conversion as well, how many people went to the payment page as well. So this is also very unique about Similarweb, is that you can not only have an idea about traffic engagement and traffic sources, you can also see at the page level what visitors are doing on your website or your competitor's website. So as I said, at this point, it's nice to collect all this data, but you can learn from the best practices of your competitors. If you see that your competitor has a lot of traffic from PPC and you actually had no intention of working on this sector, this is probably something you should do. But you have to plan improvements as well. And the value-driven conclusions of the tool is that by using Similarweb, you can actually empowers you to create better marketing plans. Okay, so you don't shoot in the dark, and this will reduce your risk of big budget decisions. Too many times I saw companies actually spending a lot of money on affiliates for traffic, on certain advertisement, spending a lot of money, but also shooting in the dark. Similarweb actually tells you what is successful for your website or your competitor's website. It's going to reveal new opportunities. As I showed before, a lot of affiliates, a lot of other websites sending traffic, looking at the entire industry. You look at new opportunities out there waiting for you or your team to just work on them and approach them. And most importantly, you have to make it more difficult for your competitors to get a free lunch. If you know that you're competing against big players in a certain industry, now there's no secrets. Everything is transparent, and you can actually know their analytics even better than them. And all of this enable you to achieve your goals and KPIs. As I said in the beginning, if you defined measurable KPIs, by using competitive intelligence data, you will be able actually to measure your goals and measure your achievements. So finally, just to end on this workshop, in the process, you need probably some institutional changes as well. But it's not going to happen magically. So I really like this quote: what if we don't change at all and something magical just happens? Nothing magical will happen, but by taking competitive intelligence data and implementing it into your online marketing, by having all this data and knowing your industry, you will actually be able to do some important changes, attract more traffic, and reach your goals. So I thank you very much, all of you, for coming here. This is my email if you have any questions. I'm also going to be around the entire day. You can come at our booth. I'm going to do also personal demonstrations. And if you need more information about Similarweb, how we do it and how you can use it, feel free to talk to me or to my team. Thank you very much.